Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Teachings with Jesus, episode 9. We're moving right along, moving right along. Happy to be here with you guys. Taking a little time out from social media right now. It's giving me a lot of space to be able to hear and sit with. I'm going to take my glasses off here, sit with, and connect deeper into um, Jesus and into God, the omnipresent light of God. And it's crazy how just taking some time off and not going on social media for myself has really allowed me to hear more, to come back into alignment with God more. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Happy to have you guys here. Thank you for being here. Um, Before I get going though, subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified when I go live, and hit the bell button and you'll get notified when I go live. You'll also get notified when I drop those meditations. I hope you're enjoying the meditations. I'm enjoying doing the meditations with Jesus. And they build upon each other. So the more that you do the meditations, the more that you build your own experience with God and with Jesus. Very, very powerful. Um, So yeah, I wanted to talk about faith today. Actually, Jesus wanted to talk about faith today, the power of faith, the importance of faith in your life, and understanding how it works, and especially how it works with God, this omnipresent light, and how we start to have more and more faith and less dependency on the external world. So more dependency on our own faith with God and less dependency on the external world. And what does that mean? Um, so let's dive into this for a moment. I want to give you some definitions to sort of grapple with, or I encourage you to, and what are your definitions of God and of faith? I'm starting to get more and more curious about this. This is the path forward. The whole reason Jesus is in my life, and that I am speaking about Jesus and teaching about Jesus, is because it's the evolutionary shift in consciousness. And um, Jesus is the embodiment of God in form, and he's the greatest teacher of that embodiment. It's kind of funny that there is a lot of resistance to it based on religious dogmatic principles and teachings, unfortunately. But we are going to do our best to tear all of that down and understand that there isn't a weakness when you start reaching out to that omnipresent light and inviting it in to assist you, and to invite it in to help you, and to invite it in to lead you and guide you. There is something profound about leaning on God. It is, to me, the magic piece of the puzzle that's been missing for a lot of us. And it's the one piece of the puzzle that really, the powers that be, the energies that have been controlling us, they don't want us to do this. They really don't want us to do this. And it's not easy leaning on this omnipresent light, leaning on God, leaning on Jesus. It's not easy. You can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't hear it a lot of the time. It's blind faith. You're walking around blind, going, is this the right direction? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this the right guidance? What about this? Well, maybe this. Um, it is our natural state to live in alignment with our divinity, which means God. And it is, it's been hidden, and we've been suffocated, meaning that light has been mm, blocked in many ways. So for me, God is this omnipresent intelligence. It's the beginning and the end. It's the start and the end. It's where we came from. It's where we go back to. It's the creation of all consciousness. It's the creation of all energy. It's the creation of everything. Nothing exists outside of God that is not God. Nothing exists separate from God. And God is an intelligence. And the more that you work with God in your life, you will realize that it's an intelligence, that it's tangible, that it's alive. and that it is 1 billion% outside of you. Yes, there is an aspect of God's divinity inside of you, which I call the God particle, but it is outside of you. Of course it is. Like, where did we come from? We had to come from something, which means that we are outside of it. We are separated from it, even though we are connected to it. And so faith is the ability to have an absolute knowingness without any physical proof. The ability to know that you are taken care of without anybody standing in front of you taking care of you. It's the ability to know that you are guided without having a guide physically in front of you holding your hand. Faith is knowing that you are being healed physically without a medical doctor coming to your house every day and continuing to heal you. Faith is knowing that any sort of emotional distress or suffering that you're in can be reduced or healed or taken away, even while you're experiencing it. Faith is knowing that there is something so much more magnificent than you, meaning it's bigger than you, the persona and the personality, the program that we live as right now, that is here to rattle us out of conditioned control into surrendered freedom. Surrendered freedom. And faith is what creates the life that you are craving, the life that you are desiring, the life that you know you wish to have, you want to have, you're trying to manifest. But faith requires letting go of control. And the that's the juxtaposition, because we live in a world that has programmed us to stay in control in order to feel safe. Faith is the opposite of that. Faith is knowing that you are safe when you're no longer in control. And when you start working with this omnipresent light of God, when you start getting serious, when you start inviting it back into your life, when you start focusing on it more, when you start walking with Jesus, when you start asking Jesus, when you start connecting with Jesus, the one thing that he will ask you is faith. Do you have faith in me? Do you have faith in God? Many of us, depending upon how you were raised, the life that you've lived, the communities that you find yourself in now, you will battle, you will struggle with faith. You will want to stay in control. You will want to remain the one making all the decisions, knowing how every step is going to go, planning it all out. That's not faith. That's humaning, but that's not faith. And what's happening on the planet right now in this evolutionary shift in human consciousness, which is what you and I are going through, is if there is, and there is, a divine spark of God inside of you, which there is, then the question becomes, how do we begin to live as it, with it? Then the question is, well, what do you mean live with it? Aren't we it? Sure. But is the divine spark within you the one that's making all the decisions in your life? The answer is no. Is that divine spark the one that is creating all of the thoughts that you have and the behaviors that you have that you don't like? The answer is no. Is that divine spark the one that's creating all of the loops of constantly like trying to get out of everything that you're in? The answer is no. Is that divine spark the one that's creating the road rage, the addictions, the anger, the depression? The answer is no. And so if we can all agree that the divine spark within us is not really leading the way, then the answer becomes, well, how does that divine spark within us begin to lead the way? And the answer is that you have to start to grab that divine spark outside of us and start flooding your body with it. Because what is happening right now is that the external world is flooding your body with everything that it wants you to focus on. And so to begin to start living in faith with this divine spark, which is designed to guide you, that divinity within you is your truth. It is your calm and your peace. It is your abundance. It is your freedom. It is your joy. It is your love. It is your service. It's everything. It is everything. And so if we are constantly having this lens of the external world and allowing it to move into us 24/7, everybody's information, everybody else but God, then allowing this divine spark and having faith in this divine spark becomes extremely difficult. Hold on, I have to close my window. And so the answer becomes, where's more of this divine spark? Where can I get more of this divine spark so that I can overload my body with that divine spark, giving me proof that it exists, giving me proof that I am an aspect of God, giving me proof that God exists? How can I override this physical reality right now so that I can begin to let go and let God? Your divinity, this spark, is so profoundly powerful. It's designed to lead you. It leads you out of fear. It leads you out of distortion. It leads you out of lack. It leads you out of illness. It leads you out of not feeling safe in the world. It leads you out of suffering. It leads you out of struggle. It leads you out of these things. Not because it takes all the things out of your life that created that, but because it is your natural state of being, no matter what you're in. For instance, if you hate the job you're in, but your divinity begins to turn on more, it starts to be felt more and more, you will feel a sense of calm in that job you hate. You will hear guidance on how to move through that job. You will feel a state of flow more and more in that job, not because you are trying to do it. I'm trying to just bring love into me, bring light into me. That's what we do right now because we're not connected yet into that divine spark. So we're trying to replicate what our divinity naturally does. So we positive think, we create light around us, we do all these things because it helps replicate. So we are replicating or trying to replicate what divinity naturally does. But when the divinity turns on more and more, because you are flooding your body with this light of God, with God, you naturally begin to feel these states of being that you innately know you're supposed to feel, but you can't get there. You just can't seem to do it on your own. So you try all these ways, you try all these tools and you try to do it, right? We have all of these people that we follow that help us to do it, but that's not God. And so it keeps us in the loop. It's us trying to replicate God. You can't replicate God. All that does when we try to find ourselves, when we try to find our divinity, we try to be divinity, when we try to do things, we are replicating and we're looping. And it's how this whole kind of planetary system works, but it's not natural. And so faith, as you go about your day, faith is knowing that your divinity is designed to be in charge. Faith is knowing that you have to start to learn how to let go of the programmed systemic ways of being in control so that your divinity can begin to lead. You have to start recognizing, is this me in charge or is this divinity? And then you're going to say, well, I don't know what divinity feels like. Exactly. And herein lies the power of bringing in the gardeners here, the power of bringing in the light of God, flooding your system with the light of God all day. It doesn't take away your problems. It doesn't say now you have to just, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to figure out your life. You don't have to make decisions. God's going to take care of it all. No, it's a co creative dance between your divinity and your persona, the part of you that is the person. Those two have to connect and work together. That's the evolution in human consciousness. That's what we're doing here in a very practical way. So forget about like, oh, we're moving into new earth, or oh, we're going into the 5D. Oh, we're going to separate it. I'm going to move into some fifth dimensional thing, or forget about that. That's all mind. What's actually happening is that your divinity, this divine spark is turning on, it's building, it's growing, it's going to start growing as an energy, as a consciousness. God consciousness, Christ consciousness, as a consciousness, it begins to grow, not because you're doing it, but because the light of God is moving in. And it has to learn, or you have to learn how to dance with it. You have to learn how to listen to it. You have to learn how to follow it. You have to learn how to get out of the way. You have to learn that it's got you, that it knows exactly where to go. It knows exactly how to take you there. It knows exactly how to heal you. It knows exactly how to do all of it. You just have to learn with faith how to get out of the way. That is the evolution in human consciousness, us coming back into alignment with our God selves. It's literally that foundation, like fundamental and simple. When God's light starts flooding your body and you're focused on that more and more, your body naturally begins to shift frequencies. I've been feeling it the last couple of weeks. I've been feeling these shifts in frequency, and then I get pummeled. And then it's like, nope, you're not going to do that. And I get attacked, literally energetically attacked. And then it's like crawling my way back to God. Right. And so what happened to me the last, 9 or 10 days was this really big attack. I think I talked about it already. Um, a massive attack that pulled me out of alignment. I was feeling very, very aligned with God's light, the holy light, just really embodied with this light. It was almost as if I was looking out at the world as if I was an aspect of God, truly. Um, and I'm sure that this experience just gets more and more profound for us, right? And I see it not as, oh my God, I'm raising my frequency. I literally see it as God coming into my body. I can feel God taking up space in my body. What is God? God is that omnipresent light that created everything that we have a divine spark of right here. So I am always saying, come on in, be with me. I'm always inviting Jesus to stand with me, to sit with me, to walk with me. Why? Because Jesus emanates God. Jesus is God. Jesus holds that frequency. So the more that I am connecting, the more that I'm going to receive that as well. It's a reflection. It's like though, lots of billionaires and millionaires are always talking about like whoever you hang out with, that's who you're going to become. I'm gonna hang out with Jesus then. Like, why would I hang out with anyone else? Like, I'd like to become like Jesus. So I'll just take him every day. We never say to ourselves, like, you know, it's really disempowering if you lean on your friends. It's really disempowering if you ask your friends for help. It's really disempowering, right? But God forbid you ask Jesus for help. God forbid you lean on Jesus. Then it becomes disempowering. It's the biggest mind trick on this planet. It's embarrassing because it's literally we have all these rules and all these ways of being to become like famous, to become rich, to become well known, to become successful, to become happy, right? And it's all about like learning these external tools. So leaning on somebody else's knowledge. Honest to God, why would I want to lean on anyone else's knowledge but Jesus's? It's not easy because he's not real. I mean, he's real, but he's not here. So it's very difficult. Very difficult. Hardest thing you'll ever do is start following Jesus and listening to Jesus and letting Jesus bring in the light of God into your body. Hardest thing you'll ever do. The most amazing, incredible thing you'll ever do. The one thing that will unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, change your entire life. I was talking to my mom last night. I'll go back to the infiltration, but I was talking to my mom last night and I'm like, we've been on this path for a long time. We have been doing this for God, she's been doing it since the '80s, and I've been doing it since the '90s. Just the awareness of ascension, the awareness of 5D, the awareness of, more light coming into our bodies, becoming these light bodies and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at her and I said, this past 9 months of working with Jesus really intensely and intimately, I have never embodied more of God light in my body. I've never felt more of a light body inside of me than I have these last 9 months. And all it took was me turning my eyes to Jesus and saying, "Show me. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to walk with you." The rest of those 40 years of my life did nothing. I just learned information. But nothing was really actually tangibly changing permanently in me until I turned to Jesus and I invited him in. Again, if you go back to that rule where everyone's like, whoever you are, your closest friends are going to reflect like who you're going to be close, it creates your reality. I choose Jesus. I choose Jesus every day, all day, every day, all day. So anywho, back to this infiltration. So I was feeling really, really great, right? This is all about faith. This has to do with faith. I was feeling really, really good. Just so aligned with God in my body, aligned with truth, the way humans are designed to be. Just, I can't explain it, but you know what it is. And then I got attacked, energetically attacked, where I was pulled away from that. It was just, it just came in and distorted it all. And so when I followed Jesus's, when he said, get off social media now, immediately get off it. And I was like resisting, right? So I finally did that on Thursday. I got off social media. So Friday, I think Friday was my first day off social media. Um, I immediately started feeling closer to Jesus. I immediately heard him again. I immediately knew that he was um, coming closer to my field, or I should say, my field was clearing up so that I could feel him. And the last 2 days, he came into my kitchen yesterday. He was like literally like inside my body almost. And he goes, "Can you hear me?" I swear to you, God, you guys, it was like his voice was inside my body. Like it was just right here. He's like, "Can you hear me?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm loud, right?" As he said, I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "This is faith. This is faith, Lorie. Faith. So right now you can feel me, right? Yes. You can hear me, right? Yes. You have no doubt it's me, right? Yes. This is the faith that you need to hold in every moment, no matter what. Like these moments where you feel this closeness, this truth, this knowingness. He said, you have to grab these moments. You have to know that this is reality, that this is real, that this is true. Because a couple of days before that, I was literally in my head, I was like, I can't do this. I don't think this is real. I don't think I was doubting Jesus. I was doubting God. I was doubting this path. I was doubting what I was doing. I was doubting what I was writing. I was doubting what I was teaching. I was doubting everything. Even in that doubt, I still knew Jesus was going to pull me through this. I still knew I had a small amount of faith that deep down that this was the right path. I was grabbing a small amount of faith that Jesus was going to pull me through this, that God was going to come in and show me the way. But I was losing faith. I was um And it was very, very uncomfortable. Perhaps you have felt this in your own life where you feel really strong and really like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this." Like, I'm gonna create the life I want. I'm gonna move out of lack. I'm gonna find a relationship, whatever that is, right? And you're just like feeling it. You're feeling aligned. You're feeling aligned with yourself. You just feel like the God has got you and you are freaking rocking it. And then all of a sudden, 3 days later, you wake up and you're like, it's never gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. It would have already happened. Why isn't it happening? There is no it's not and you start your faith that you had 3 days ago is, like, diminished. Like, where did it go? What happened to it? That's the power. That's the power of faith. The power of faith is life-changing because so long as you have faith, then God can do miracles in your life. So long as you focus on faith, God can change everything and anything in your life. So long as you know without a shadow of a doubt that there is this omnipresent light and it can work through Jesus as that light and it can guide you and it can show you and it can lovingly and excitedly and childlikely walk you to your divinity, to your God essence, to freedom, to health, to abundance, to safety, to all the things that you've been craving and trying to do your entire life. Everything that you've spent millions of dollars on, thousands of dollars on, Jesus can walk you to it. Everything that you have been fighting for, Jesus can walk you to. Everything that you have been suffering with, Jesus can walk you through. Everything. And your path will be a little bit different than my path and anybody else's path that is here. But Jesus will walk you into your divinity. Jesus will show you exactly who you are. Jesus will free you. Jesus will take care of the suffering, the pain, all of it. Then the question becomes how? And the answer is a relationship with Jesus all day long with a huge amount of faith. So let's dive into a little bit more what faith, how we experience faith, because faith requires letting go, surrendering. And I can promise you that if you start walking with Jesus and really committing to it, like, and what I mean by that is that you want to become your highest version of you. You want to become your greatest you. Why not? You're on this planet for a very short time. Don't you want to live it as aligned and as clear and as pure as God as possible? It's your birthright. Your birthright is to feel your essence in this nonsense chaotic world. That's your birthright. That's your whole purpose is to come back and find this divine essence. And Jesus is waving his hands like, "Yo, you guys, I can take you there. I can take you there." But there's so much distortion and programming and systemic ways of doing it with him that have never been about him. It was never him, right? And so you are we all this entire planet has this profound ability right now to wake up into their divine essence. But I can promise you it does not happen if the person stays in charge. It's impossible. The person can't do it. Divinity does it. God does it. And that's the biggest trap that humanity is going to fall into is two things. Either they're going to really try to do it and then you're negating God doing it with you, or you're going to become such a victim to it all, right? And just be like, I can only do this if it's God. I can only do this if God does it. I can only do this if God does it, right? There's a balance. It's like when you start working with Jesus, there's a huge amount of responsibility that you have. Like, you've got to do it. You've got to commit. You've got to be convicted. You've got to surrender. You have to choose. Like, so there's this really strange way of dealing with this place that humanity's at right now, where you don't want to give your power away to God, where it's like, okay, well, just God's going to do all of it. And I'm just this weak human that doesn't understand anything and that doesn't know how to do this. And it's, and I've just got to beg God. I just got to be like, okay, just Jesus, you do it all. I'm just, woe is me, woe is me. Like, I'm a, a suffering, sinful human that, just always needs help. Like, no, no, you have completely forgotten who you are and how to access it. You've kind of forgotten how to do this, but it requires you to let go, surrender, learn how to surrender to that divinity, surrender to that God, flood the body with it so that you can start to trust it, feel it, experience it. And then you start learning how you, as the human, making the choices, and God, as your divinity, leading you. The other path that we do, if it's not like, woe is me, I got to just bend down and give everything over and I'm never going to be able to, it's very disempowering. The other place is, I am God, so I'm going to do it all myself. If I'm God, I'm going to do it myself. That won't work, because the you that's doing it is the you that's been doing it. It's the you that's systemically controlled. It just is. And so there has to be a middle ground where we start to say, okay, I got to really start recognizing who is me, who's the one making choices, who's the one believing thoughts, who's the one doing the behaviors, who's the one saying I'm going to raise my vibration, who's the one saying I'm going to heal myself with ... Who's the one saying those things? It's not God. Let's be honest. It's not God. It's not divinity. Divinity wouldn't say that. You as divinity wouldn't say that. You as divinity would surrender to divinity and say, divinity, show me, divinity, heal me, divinity, right? Divinity works when the human persona lets go. Divinity, God cannot work if you are in control. Sometimes God will come in and whack the human around when they're like at their lowest, or just like randomly pop in and show them like, yo, look at how cool God is. And you just like, oh my God, God is so amazing. I had no idea, right? Pops you out of this illusion that you're the one that creates and does everything. But when God starts to make an impact in your life, when God starts to show you, which is an aspect of God, you have to let go. And so you're not only are you learning how to let go in all of this, but then you're also still making choices. You have to get up every day and decide what you're going to do. Every day you make decisions. You probably make 50,000 decisions in a day. You have 70,000 thoughts in a day. So you have to take action. And so the key to faith, right? Holding faith is constantly asking yourself, what is faith? Is faith with me right now? Do I have faith in something bigger than me that's guiding me? Can I hand this over to God and trust that God's going to guide me, that God's going to show me? What does it feel like to hand it over? Because the more you walk with God, the more you walk with Jesus, the more you will be asked to let go. You will be asked to have faith. If you say, Jesus, just take this relationship from me. I don't know how to navigate it. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much discomfort. Like, please just show me. So faith is knowing that the moment you ask, it's done. That's faith. The moment you ask, it is complete. It's been delivered. It's done. So what you do is you pay attention to how you don't believe that. And so you'll have this angst. So every day you'll be like, God, please take this away. 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 God, help me through this. God, help me through this. Now there's no issue with praying every day for the same thing, but it's about the energy that you hold around it. So if you are holding an energy of not believing that God's going to do it, and so you're like, God, please just take this, right? Please, God, just take this from me. That's a feeling of not having faith. That feels like no faith. That sounds like no faith, as opposed to, God, take this. God, take this from me. I am yours. Use me, show me, guide me. Take my suffering, Kate, take my lack, take my depression. Show me how to walk through this job I don't like. Bring me to something else. Let's go. It is open. It is curious. It is receptive. That's faith. The opposite is, God, please, I just don't want to be in this job anymore. God, please take me out of this. Please, please, please. And we can go there because it helps you to surrender. It helps you to let go. It helps you to be vulnerable and honest in what you're experiencing. I've done it many, many times. Gotten on my knees and just been like, God, I can't do this. Please just take this from me. And then when you're in those moments of like, I just can't do this. Like, I have so much fear about this surgery coming up. I have so much fear that I'm never going to get better. I have so much fear that I'm stuck in this, right? Yeah, like get that out. Be vulnerable with God in that. Be vulnerable with Jesus in that. And then stop for a moment and say, Jesus has me. God has me. If Jesus was standing in front of you, he would say to you, okay, I will show you. Okay, I got you. Now, because we can't always hear that, we don't have faith. Because we don't always feel that, we don't have faith. And so each day we come and we're like, please, why is it not happening? Please, please take this. I'm doing everything right. I'm inviting in the light of God. I'm talking to Jesus every day. I'm talking to God every day. Please just take this. Why is it not working? It's because you don't have faith. Faith is, take this, God. I know no matter what, you have this. I know that you're showing me right now. I know that you're going to make this surgery beautiful and peaceful and perfect. I know you're going to guide me through whatever job is next for me. I know you're going to show me the next relationship when and if it comes. I know that you're going to take me out of this job and into something else. I know that you've got me. And then you drop back into that fear. Oh my God, nothing's happening. Oh my God, I don't, that's the human. That's not having faith. Then you got to drop back into faith. I know you got me. It's a choice and an energy. It's a choice and an energy. And it is the only way you can work with God, unfortunately. Otherwise, you will constantly be fighting God. You'll be constantly fighting Jesus. Jesus works in faith. Do you trust me? Then let me lead you. And what we do, at least what I do with Jesus, is I won't listen to him and I'll do it my way. Because it's too hard. I don't want to. I don't trust. I don't believe. And then it just goes to it goes to poop. It was a bad idea. I'm just in more suffering. It doesn't feel right. For me at this point, it never feels right if I try to go do it myself. Never. I don't do anything without a pure, clear alignment with Jesus and God. I don't. I don't make decisions. It's impossible for me now. It doesn't feel right. But that faith is a practice. That faith grows, right? It grows. It's the greatest feeling you will ever have when you start to anchor into that faith with Jesus and with God. You'll never go back. You'll never lean on anything else. And, you will have many up and downs with it. But you will realize, oh my God, this energy, this man is walking me back into my natural state. Because what it does, my friend, is it doesn't make you lean on Jesus. It makes you realize that what Jesus is showing you is what's in here. And that when you lean on him, you're leaning on your own divinity. When that holy light comes in, it's your light. I mean, it's God, but it's activating you. It's showing you that you don't have to have fear, that you don't have to be in suffering, that you don't have to be in pain, that you don't have to be in resistance. You don't. We're walking ourselves out of all that. We don't have to stay in the addictions. We don't have to stay in those attachments. We don't have to keep leaning on the external world to give us the things that we innately and naturally have within us. So it's this daily walk, this hourly walk, this minute by minute walk, starting to discern between what is you wanting to do it all, what is you that's stuck, what is you that has the addictions, what is you that has the pain, what is you that has the suffering, what is the you that what how are you doing it? How are you navigating it? What are you leaning on? What are you listening to? And how much of it is actually God? And then getting honest about what that looks like, how difficult it is to have that faith. And then continuing to choose faith, continuing to choose Jesus, continuing to listen to him. And here's the thing, the more that you do this, the more faith you will have in Jesus, the more the faith of Jesus will grow because you're experiencing him, you're connecting with him, you're trusting him, and your own divinity begins to be felt. It's impossible for it not to. It'd be like you being around somebody that's super, super joyful and playful, right? So you're always around this person and they're always super excited. They're super playful. They're like childlike. They're always happy. Eventually, if you hung out with them every single day, you would start feeling that throughout your life. Your lens would shift. It rubs off on you. And when you have a bad day and that person's there just like loving up on you because that's just how they are, they're just a happy go lucky person, you start feeling it. And that's what Jesus wants. He wants to just walk with us all day, every day, as a best friend that you could never imagine doing life without. Not like any other. Not like an ascended master, not like an angel, not like a guide, but the image of God, the reflection of God. So now you're walking with an embodiment of God, asking it for help. Show me, lead me, remind me of who I am. Remind me of how to become God-like in human form. There is nobody, there is no angel, master, there is nobody that is better suited for this job right now on the planet than Jesus. Does he have a lot of obstacles to get through? Yeah, he has a lot of obstacles to navigate in terms of the way that the human perceives him and understands him on many different layers and levels. But he'll take humanity wherever they're at. He'll walk into anyone's life, no matter what their beliefs are, or opinions are, or traumas, or pains, or addictions, or behaviors. Doesn't matter. Because every single person is a divine spark of God. Jesus would never, ever, ever deny his presence with any human. It's blasphemy in a way. Doesn't make sense. You could be the most horrific person on the planet. You could be the Bill Gates or you name it, Rothschilds. It doesn't matter. The satanic people, people that have done the worst things on the planet, Jesus would stand in front of them and remind them of who they are. Love them. Truly. Now, of course, Yeshua loves to point out injustice. He will point out the spiritual battle. He will point out the lies. He will point out the manipulation because that's how you free humanity. You free humanity by two things: bringing them back to God and showing them the manipulation, the infiltration, the spiritual battle. That's what he did when he was on the planet. Where he was walking, where he was living, He pointed out the spiritual battle, the infiltration, the lies. And he does it now. That's why a big chunk of his story with me is about understanding the spiritual battle and bringing the light of God back into your body, flooding your body as much as you possibly can throughout your day with that light. And nothing spectacular happens. You know, it's not like you're all of a sudden going to feel the light of God flowing through you. You're just bringing conscious awareness all day, every day to light the light of God moving in, Jesus walking with you, talking with you, showing you, guiding you. Your life will change. You don't have to have this miraculous moment. You don't have to have these visceral experiences of like levitating or, I don't even know. You don't have to like, oh my God, I got to raise my vibration. People, let me tell you something. Your divine spark of God inside of there is more high frequency than you could ever get yourself. Like, we got to let go of the ego trying to do all this stuff. And we got to get back to a humble foundation of recognizing how this whole thing works, which is that we have to get out of the way so that the highest potency that exists in any awareness can move into our bodies and increase our frequency that way, increase our bodies that way. Let God's light do all the DNA activations. Let God's light realign your chakras. Let God's light do it because that's the natural path. That's the organic path. If you want to elevate yourself or you want to shift quicker than anything, you start inviting the light of God to do it all for you. You let the light of God do it before a teacher, before anyone. You let the light of God do what you've been trying to do your whole life, and I can promise you, you will start feeling and experiencing life very differently if you have faith, you believe, you have trust, and you start doing it. That's our natural state, is that God's light comes in such a fury that it does it all for us. Again, we've been replicating what God is designed to naturally do. We've been trying to do what God's light naturally does. And the memory of God's light doing this has been wiped from us. It's not our fault. The memory of what God is designed to do naturally in our body has been wiped from us. So we are trying to do it because we know it's our natural state, but we're replicating it. And so it's never gonna anchor in. It's like it's over here. It's not here yet. When we are here aligned with God, then God's light does it all. And then it anchors, then it stays. Then you're not constantly trying to do it. You're not constantly trying to like do all the things that we do in those spaces. And you won't believe me until you start practicing it. And then when you start practicing it, you're gonna understand what faith is. You're gonna say, "Oh, this is why Lori's talking about faith." Because if I'm not doing it, who's doing it? God. Well, how do I know God's doing it? Because God's doing it. Well, I don't know. I can't feel anything. I can't hear anything. I'm gonna go back to me doing it. You lost faith. You're not gonna see what God can do for you. Go back. Keep doing it. Have faith. It's the key to it all. It's the key to it all, my friends. That is faith in a nutshell. That is learning how to no longer doubt God. That is starting to really understand the power of Jesus and what he can do in your life. And Jesus didn't come down here so that we would, constantly um thank you for that super chat. Oh, it's my first super chat in like 1600 years. Melody 8547. Thank you, my friend. That was very, very special and sweet of you. Um, Jesus didn't come down here so that we would just constantly like regurgitate scripture. Jesus came down here so that we would experience him as well. Experience him, learn from him, understand him, walk with him, sit with him because he's God. So it's a reflection. It helps us feel it. It helps us understand it. It helps us come back to it. It'd be like you're in a room full of people, okay? And you're trying to build your business, okay? And you just started out and you want to make your business like a Fortune 500. I know all you guys are going to be like, "Nah, that's the corporations." Just you want your business to be successful. You've got all these people in the room, but there's one CEO in the room, and he has built many, many businesses. He's extremely successful. Dare I say, the most successful man in the room, woman in the room. And you have options to go to all these different people to hang out with, to mentor. Who are you going to go to? Most likely, if we're honest and we're not trying to like be, sarcastic, you're going to go to the person that is the most successful. You're going to learn from the most successful, right? Course, you're not going to go to the person that is just starting out or the person that, has failed and maybe has a couple of successes, but you're going to go to the cream of the crop. You're going to go to the master of all masters. You're going to run over there and get in line. That's Jesus. In a room full of people trying to teach us how to do this, there's Jesus. And believe it or not, he's been in many rooms and completely ignored, completely ignored. And he keeps coming back to those rooms. Someday somebody will see me. Someday somebody will invite me in. Someday somebody will say, "Hey, come on in, show me." He's in rooms where they do call him in and they don't see him. They don't feel him. They don't listen to him. They don't understand him. It's not about learning about Jesus. It's not about doing what everybody says is the protocols for Jesus. It's about looking around in the room and saying, "I'd like you to be the mentor, please. I'd like you to help me. I feel like of all the people on the planet, you might be the one to go to help me move through this evolution, this ascension process." Let him tell you about UFOs. Let him tell you about cloning. Let him tell you about disclosure. Let him tell you about the government's, dysfunction. Let him tell you about the Illuminati. Let him tell you about it all. Let him break you free. And the way that you listen, the way that you hear him, the way that you connect with him. Yay, another super chat. Oh, this is so fun. Super chat from Arde Griffin. I'm going to pronounce your, but thank you. Thank you. Um, he's the one that will free you. He's the one that will show you everything. Oh, to listen to him, to hear him, to connect with him. Um, I mean, he does it with me every single day, but it's you have to you have to stop the distractions that you have. You have to just try to sit quietly. You have to try to bring yourself into stillness, whether it's right before a yoga class or a workout class, right? Right before you go into a meeting, you're sitting in your car, maybe before you walk into your house. Where in your day can you just focus on him? Where there's no noise, there's no music on, there's no people talking, there's no scrolling on your phones, there's no podcasts on the background. It's just you, silence, and Yeshua. And the more that you and we'll do an episode about commitment, but the more that you can commit to this path with him, the sky's the limit, my friends. He's the way. He's the way through this evolution. I'm 1,000,000,000% convinced. He's not the only way. He's not the only way. But again, if I'm in a big room full of people and I'm learning about this evolution, and the whole evolution is about anchoring your own divinity into your everyday life. This is what we are doing here. Everything else is extra. All the awakenings to this and awakening to that and awakening to this and awakening to that. You are an aspect of God inside a physical form. Whether you are believe you're a Palladian or a Arcturian or a hybrid, those things don't matter. You have an aspect of God inside of you. You're playing the role of a human and you jumped into the game of Monopoly. No matter what you identify with, you dropped into the game of Monopoly life to live God like in human form, Christ like in human form. And everything else that we do here is extra. Everything. It's the greatest show. It's the greatest gift. It's the greatest game. It's the greatest opportunity to practice remembering how to live God like in a physical vessel, in a density, is the greatest gift that you gifted yourself with in this lifetime. Everything else is a distraction. Oh, we got another super chat. This is incredible. Silk and Thistle. Thank you. You guys are so awesome. I love it. I appreciate it. Everything else is all the things we focus on, all the things we get distracted on because it's fun and it's enjoyable and it's entertainment and life is so beautiful. There's so much. I'm going to leave right now and walk downtown and get a coffee and probably go to a yoga class. I love it. But what's most important? That I'm staying aligned and connected with God. And what does that mean? And how do I do it every day? Because that is the reason I'm on this planet. That's the commitment. Because when I do it, then you do it, then someone else does it, then someone else does it. And guess what? Eventually we start seeing this entire planet change. Not because we're sitting in lotus trying to elevate ourselves into some higher frequency or clearing out our chakras or doing all these things, but because we are coming back into alignment with God simply, simply. And we let God take over. We let God's light do it. We let God show us. We finally say, you know what? I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to start figuring this out with God. I'm going to start figuring this out with Jesus. I'm going to look around the room every day and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm choosing you today, Jesus. Let's go. I'm choosing you today. And then it's your ride with him. And it's going to be a ride. It's your, did I tell you guys the whole food story? I didn't tell you the whole food story. I told SOR. Did I tell you guys the whole food story? Hold on, I gotta figure out if I told you guys the whole did I tell you guys the whole food story? I don't think I did. Yes or no? Okay, I didn't. Okay, as we're talking about and then I'm gonna get going, but, we're talking about riding with Jesus, right? Getting on the ride with Jesus. What it's like. God knows what it's like. But I'll just give you there's so many examples. Thank you for the next super chat. Rory, oh, my friend, thank you. Um, one last story. If you're in SOAR, you've already heard it, but if you're not in SOAR, it's a good story. So Jesus is always doing really silly, funny things. He always answers most prayers that I pray, and he always reminds me to pray because I forget to pray. I forget to ask. Even though I've walked with him this like in such an intense way the last 9 months and written this book with him, I still forget to ask him for help when I'm suffering. I forget to ask him for help when I'm stuck in something. I forget. And he's always the last couple of days, he's like, "You gotta start, Lori, keep praying to me. Like, keep asking me. Stop not. Why are you not asking me? You know." But side note, so he does all these really funny things, and he interjects in my life, and he always answers these prayers in unique ways. But the other day, I was in Whole Foods. I forgot what I was getting protein powder and I walked straight into Whole Foods. As soon as I walk into Whole Foods, I see this very strange man. He looks like he doesn't belong. I swear to you, he caught my eye immediately. He walked this way past me and something just felt different about him. Like my eyes were on him. it just he didn't look like he fit in. It was very strange. So I go around to the aisle where my protein powder is, and I'm looking at the protein powder and I grab it and I'm like, "Okay, I think this is the one I want." And I get this little tap. It's a very small aisle, right? And I hear this tap. I feel this tap on my shoulder and I turn around and it's that man. And he hands me hawthorn berry tincture and he goes, "Here you go. This is for your heart. It's going to help with dot dot dot. This is how you take it. You want to put it in water. It's hard to take because it has like some alcohol stuff in it. But just make sure that you take it with water. If you want to take it with juice, it's fine. But this is going to help your heart. And also, it's the last one, so you need to take it. And thank you." And then he walks away. And I was like, I was like, opened my hand. He goes, "Here you go." And he places it in my hand. He goes, "This is for you. Um, this is what it does. This is how you take it. And it's the last one, so you need to take it. There's no more on the shelf." As if I was looking for it, as if I asked for it, as if he worked there. Oh, and by the way, all he had was this little carton of strawberries and he just walked away. Like he wasn't getting anything there. He didn't have a tincture. He didn't have any of the stuff that it was like. And then when he walked away, I'm pretty sure he just dissolved. I'm pretty sure he was an angel. I'm pretty sure he was not human. And I just walked in. I took my little hawthorn berry tincture to the register. I checked out with my protein and I was like, "I guess this is what I'm taking." Thank you, Jesus. Anything else? Keep showing me. Keep showing me. I was at I was at Home Depot getting some plants, and I'm just listening to him now. Because I'm shutting things out more and more, and he's like, "This is the plant you're getting. This is the thing you're getting." The more that I get quiet, the more that I get focused on him, the more that my lens turns to him, the easier it is to hear him. The easier it is to hear him. And that's the importance of just shutting things out for a while. How badly do you want it? How badly do you want to uh, be who you are? How badly do you want your suffering to go away? How badly do you want to say, enough is enough. I'm tired of doing it the way the whole world's telling me to do it. It's not working. We're just going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And then we're getting caught up in all of the hoopla that they're sharing with us about this and this is happening. And oh my God, now this is happening. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get 10 times louder. And a lot of it is not even real. And so then it becomes, is this real? Is this not real? Is this fake? Is this not fake? Is this a false flag? Is this, all that does is steal your energy and time with God. It's designed that way. It's designed that way. The evolution in human consciousness is not about us getting more and more attached to the external world. It's becoming more and more attached to the divinity within us and letting that wow us all day, every day, letting it shift us, letting us change us. And eventually you'll stop watching all that stuff. It won't even resonate. You'll just be like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Truly doesn't matter. And it's addictive. Why is it addictive? Because it pulls you from God. Everything on this planet is addictive right now. Entertainment is addictive. Everything needs to be entertaining in order to grab your attention and to keep you disconnected from your truth. And then it creates a little bit of weird angst or anxiety, or maybe it gives you a pulse of like, oh my God, it's so great. I love it gives you that dopamine hit. But it's all separate from what you're here to do, which is aligning with divinity. So lean into God, lean into Jesus, choose Jesus in the room, have faith. As you are asking and praying and speaking, pay attention to whether you are doing this like, please, please, please. That's what we're gonna feel that, right? Like, I'm giving it all to you, God. I'm giving it all to you. Or let's go, God. Show me. Light me up. Guide me. I'm all yours. I'm available for it all. I am walking with you now. Show me how to do this because I know that you, out of everybody else in this room, is the one that I want to walk through this evolution with. I think you're the one that's gonna guide me. I think that you're the one that's gonna elevate me. I think you're the one that's going to do this. So let's go. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the super chats. I love it. Back to the super chats. I haven't had super chats in a long time. Um, Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Also, pass these along. Get people to remember this stuff. Get people to understand Jesus, not from any other perspective, but just truth. Get it out. Spread it far and wide. Um, and I will see you for episode number 10 whenever we have that. I love you guys very much. And may you be blessed today with God. May God shine down on you. May God shine in you. May you hear Jesus. Make Jesus wow you today. Jesus, give him a little wink today, God. Give him a God wink today, Jesus. Put a little skip in their step today, Jesus. Show them who you are. Show them who you are. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Mwah. How do we get that meditation you just did with God? It was so powerful. Which one? The one that's on the YouTube channel? Any meditation that I did, it's if I did it here, it's just here on YouTube. I think you can download it, but you download it onto your phone or your device. Um, yeah. Okay. Lots of love, you guys. Take care.